Hi, it's Tina Hamilton. I have a very special guest with us today, Rob Lawrence with VRA Realty. Did I say that right?
You did
VR.
awesome.
Okay. VRA Realty. And he's not just your normal realtor. You have a lot of different interests in real estate and do you have a few things going in real estate. So why don't you tell us, actually, if it's all right with you, why don't you tell us how you started? Because that's a great way to segue into what you're doing.
I'm actually a mechanical and aerospace engineer. I got a degree from Cornell University.
Wow.
I got into engineering. They're like, you talk way too much, so we're going to put you into sales. So I started selling industrial machinery. I was traveling a
Mm.
lot, and I had a couple different life things happen. I went and worked for my father for a while, and he was like, "Hey, I think you should go take some sales training." So I Googled sales training. I found Robert Kiyosaki. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, yeah.
My mind was like way opened, and I was like, oh, like this whole time I've been trying to be a great employee instead of like own assets and start businesses and things like that. So I started getting obsessed with real estate investing because I always wanted to have my own business, and I really didn't know like how I was going to do it. I always thought I had to invent something. Like I was
Right.
like, I'm an
Okay.
engineer. I'm going to
Yeah.
invent some magic product, and
Yeah.
that's going to save my life. You know, but I started like realizing like real estate was such a great business to be in, and I got super excited about it. I started studying it. I'd seen other people be successful, and then I joined an old friend of mine, Steve Seymour at VRA Realty, and then I started doing that for a while. And then my dad and I parted ways. It wasn't working out,
What was
and
that business with your dad?
thickness gauging for plastic film. It's a very
Oh,
highly technical
okay.
product. I was doing sales and marketing, and I was making tons of videos and showing people all over the world how to measure plastic film. I even wrote an
Wow.
ASTM standard,
Wow. It's
so
impressive.
yeah, I'm an unusual realtor. And anyway, so I was super passionate about real estate investing, but I was like, all right, so I started doing that on the side while I was doing my engineering sales gig, and then I started growing, and then it kept growing, and then people kept joining my
And when
team.
you say growing, you were growing real estate sales, real estate investing. What was it?
Well, I really wasn't ready to invest in real estate like financially at that
Sure.
time. I
Yeah.
actually just gone through a divorce when I was 30. I
Okay.
kind of got wiped out totally. And so what I did is I just was like, all right, well, let's make some money. Let's save some money up. And I knew the real estate sales commissions was a way to do that. And when I started doing it, I actually really liked it. And I
Okay.
was not really expecting to become a realtor or really do that for that reason because I was really
Mm.
passionate mostly about real estate investing.
Right.
And once I started doing that, I was just like, oh, okay, like I do like this. Like these people are so happy. I just helped them buy a house. Like this is a big life thing. Like I
Yeah.
feel important,
Satisfying. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Feed your ego a little. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't
And
need
you,
to
you
do
have
that
you have
anymore. But
significance. You have a purpose, right? In
yeah,
helping people.
it was cool. And understanding real estate investing, I think gave me a different angle.
Mm.
And it took me over a year to get my first real estate deal after I got licensed. And I was trying pretty hard. It's really, really competitive.
When you say you mean selling your first property or
I was like trying
investing?
to get a client to hire me
Oh, okay, got you.
that I could
Because nobody
actually.
knew you and right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew people, but
Right.
like
I
I
mean,
didn't.
as a real estate
Yeah, they
person.
didn't know me as yeah. They
Right.
knew Rob the engineer,
Right. Oh, yeah.
and there's probably a lot I had to learn as well. Like, was I proficient in doing real estate sales transactions?
Okay. It's fair.
No.
Yeah.
The
Right.
people that hired me
Yeah.
early, thank you, but you guys are
Right.
crazy. But anyway, I would get a lucky break here and there. I had actually a flipper I helped. He actually thought I was somebody else and hired me because he
Okay.
thought I was a different real estate agent named Rob.
Oh. Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's so
hilarious.
funny. Yeah, I ended up selling
So
five houses.
you didn't tell him, right? You just kept going?
I was just like, well, and he said,
Your
"You're
name's
Rob
Rob.
Lawrence," and I said, "I am Rob Lawrence," but he just had mistaken me for a different Rob.
That's
And
hilarious.
yeah, so
But that you got a deal, so
yeah, I got 5 deals out of that. So
wow.
that was an interesting help me get started. And believe me, you're just scraping and crawling trying to get
Right.
something, together. And now, I mean, I think this year we'll probably do like over 100 transactions. I got 6 teammates now.
Wonderful. Wow.
I'm investing in real estate actively as well and helping other people invest in real estate, which I'm super passionate about. Helping bring financial freedom to people. So that's really like my main
So
mission.
is VRA, this is your part owner or how does that work?
I'm not part owner.
Oh, okay.
I just hang my license there,
That's
but
where you hang your
I
license.
kind of help a little bit with guiding the brokerage a
Hmm.
little bit here and there, and maybe that
Sure.
will become more in the future.
Okay.
But right now, I just basically run a team inside of this
I
brokerage,
see.
and
Okay.
it's Yeah, we're up there in the top of the 120 agents or so.
Nice. Beautiful. And you're doing so tell me then from there. You're doing investing in some classes. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing my wife and I did was a live and flip. And I said to her, sweetheart, like we got to buy rental properties. And she said, we don't even own a house. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, and I'm
Right.
like, well, like, how am I supposed to, we need to figure out how to financial freedom, and all this crazy shit. But she was like, all right, like, let's buy a house. And there was one neighborhood that a couple of friends of mine living in it. We had targeted, we made offers on like 6 or 7 houses over a couple years in that neighborhood.
Okay.
And we finally bought one, and we bought it for like 397. It was like, and we bought it like right as COVID was hitting.
Okay.
So like January, I think it was January 2019, right? And then
Oh boy.
COVID hit like March. So
Okay.
like the countertop shop shut down, and the cabinets, and nobody could work, nobody could help me move. And I couldn't work as a real estate agent. So because the governor shut that down.
Oh, that's
He's like, you
right.
can't
I
show a
forgot
house.
about that. You
You by
couldn't go in.
yourself, you can't
Right.
make a video. You got to stay in your house. So like I was
So your business
upset.
took a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
was just starting to get some
Oh,
traction, and then boom,
jeez.
that hit, and I was like, why is this happening to me? It was happening to the whole world.
That's right. The
But
last person I just interviewed just told a story about her COVID experience. But go ahead.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a blessing in disguise. I actually
Right.
got unemployment so that I could fix my house up. And so
Oh,
I'm pretty handy. I'm an engineer, so I like
oh,
working with my hands. So I
that's
was doing like
perfect.
laying the floor, doing the base moldings, whatever, just getting everything together. And then we reappraised that house about 6 months later at 540. So we made about
Wonderful.
$100,000
Wow.
in like 6 months. And that just changes everything when that happens. So I'm so passionate about teaching people about how to do live-in flips.
Now, what about, I think like being an EO, a lot of EOers, especially once they gain some level of success, will start investing in real estate because it's a
Yeah.
natural place to put your cash,
Yeah, it's a great place.
right? It's a
Yeah.
great place and it diversifies you as well. So
Yeah.
not all your money's in the stock market because we know what's happening there right now.
Yeah.
So how do people do it without going too deep for the sake of time? But how do people do it that aren't handy like you? Not everybody's handy like you. They might have the cash, they might have the desire, even the knowledge, but they don't have, it's hard to find good, reliable contractors.
Yeah.
That is,
it is challenging. I think real estate investing is different than, let's say, stock market investing, in that I do think it involves an expansion of your skill set and
mhm,
growth as a person, which
okay.
is actually like my mentor Steve Seymour, like he's so big on personal growth, and I was talking about that. I actually think like real estate investing is an interesting vehicle for entrepreneurship and personal growth. Because it will test you and try you, and maybe you do have to learn how to put it in a toilet, even if you're not
Oh,
handy.
right.
I'm like, go to YouTube University and type in, how do I
Okay.
install a toilet?
Right.
And you can figure it out.
Get your gumption up and just
Yeah.
try to do some of it.
I didn't know how
Yeah.
to tile a shower. I watched 3 different videos on how to tile a shower, and I got different tips from each one. And I learned,
Right.
okay, like I have to lay the strip and level it, and then that will make it turn out right. And these are the spacers I want to use. And like, let me try it like this. And there's some trial and error, which
Sure.
is partly why I live and flip is really, really a great training ground,
hmm
because it's your house and you got to live with the work you did, but someone else doesn't.
So you live in it, you fix it up,
Yeah.
flip it, move to your next house. You're just moving a
Yeah,
lot.
and you don't necessarily have to move. So
Oh.
really, because I haven't moved, I actually still live in my live and
Oh.
flip, and I'm up like, I don't know, maybe $350,000.
Oh, so you're just increasing the value of your house, but staying there.
Correct. Like, so it's kind of like buying a fixer upper and then gaining equity. And then the question is, okay, now that you have equity, what are you doing with it? Right. And that's the
Ah,
next steps really
okay.
for a lot of people. So a lot of people say to me, like, I want to invest in real estate, oh, I don't have a ton of cash on hand. I'm like, do you have equity? Because we can tap that with a home equity line of credit, like really easily for maybe
Right.
$400. If you don't use the money, it's just sitting there.
Right.
And, when you get a deal, or when a deal comes, or when I bring you a deal, you'll be ready to take action because you have the equity.
Right.
And people will say, well, you don't need any money to invest in real estate and this and that. I was like, but you need wealth, whether that's like wealth of knowledge or equity or resources or connections or contractors that like these are all forms of wealth that I've accumulated and purposely put into my life that helped me invest in real estate. So even though now when I buy a house, I'm not coming out of pocket for cash, like it's because I have wealth. I'm utilizing my wealth to do
Gotcha.
that.
Borrowing from one to start the next, to start the next, to start the next.
Yeah, so somebody like an EO who's, a lot of times they do have wealth. I
Yeah.
mean, so many business owners have cash flow
Yeah.
constraints or issues or
Yeah.
cash
Depends. Right.
availability cash, but like it's interesting like looking at, okay, can I take equity? For bigger projects, you see a lot of people raising money, which, there's money sitting all around looking
Mm-hmm.
for yield. It just doesn't know where to go. And like, if you can put together a deal with yield, and I'm like, my mind's expanding around that kind of thing. Like, I'm just investing in my first syndication now with a friend of mine named Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's doing like 24 units in Allentown, and he got the investors together to put together the renovation budget and the down payment, and then the bank's providing the rest. And, he's like just coordinating all that, putting it all together, running
Wow.
the project, right? And he's getting, maybe half of the share of the equity or something like that, right? And there's returns to the investors, it's like maybe 15% a year or 14%, right? So everybody's getting paid, but
Right.
like there's so much to it. It's like overwhelming for a lot of people,
Right.
so like I just try to make like a clear, simple path.
So you mentioned earlier that you do some training for people. Tell us about that.
So I run a real estate investor meetup in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Okay, it's a meetup. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
second Wednesday every month, 6:45 p.m. at our brokerage, VRA Realty. You can check it out, VRA Realty Meetup. If you just Google that, you can sign up. We have like 1,200 members.
Wow.
We usually get like 30 to 50 people that come on a given meetup.
That's impressive.
Free pizza and beer. That's how
Yeah.
you get people.
Okay.
But we had, for example, a guy named Dan Hinger. He came last month and he talked on landlord law. But it's like super practical knowledge,
Okay.
right? Like this is how much security deposit you can take. In the second year you have to take only 1 month, but the first year you can take 2 months. If you take more than that, it's not legal, right? Like, and you have to kind of, but this is like actual practical knowledge that
Mm-hmm.
people sitting in there can ask an attorney questions that like does it every day, and he evicts people. How much is it to evict people? Well, it's $300 to $600 to hire me. That cheap? It's like, and okay, what's the process? Well, they can appeal, but they have to do this. They have to, start paying their rent again. And like, you just learn all these like practical things.
Right.
And I think the thing that's really important about the meetups is one is peer pressure. If you get around people doing something, you're going to do that thing. If everybody knits or everybody around you does drugs, you're going to do that, right? But if everyone around you is real estate investing, it starts to become weird if you're not.
Okay.
Like you're the outcast. Well, what do you mean you don't have a rental? Well, why not? Why aren't you investing in real estate? Well, you didn't do a live and flip. Oh, I did a live and flip. Oh, he did a live and flip. Everybody here has done a live and flip. We all know how to lay floor. Like it's
Yeah.
it's just like it becomes weird. And then the other aspect, so like once you kind of have that like social pressure, you're creating a positive social peer pressure
Okay.
on your life, which is super huge.
Right.
And I think we were just talking about that with business owners before we started. We were like, how many business owners do you know? Like, are you around them? Like, how do you get
Right.
around them? EO is such an awesome way to do that.
That's right.
And I love that. And I recommend EO to so many different people that I meet, because I'm just like, it teaches you the, blocking and tackling of really how to run a business. But again, you also have that peer pressure of, well, yeah, I have employees too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with the same stuff you're dealing with,
Right.
right? Like you're not
You have the
magic.
support. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all dealing with the same things with tenants and leases and, trying to get equity and make money and the different challenges and, man, I had a tenant just rip all the cabinets out of my house and all this other stuff. So you can have all these different things, and yeah, okay, there's a shoulder to cry on, and maybe like the general public's like, oh, your fifth property's not doing so well. Like maybe they're not that sympathetic to you. But the other thing is like, I always think there's like a risk versus reward, right? And it's like, well, I want to invest in real estate, but I don't know. What if I have to evict somebody? It's like, well, you just listened to a lawyer talk for 30 minutes about what you would do if you had to evict somebody, what the process is, how much it costs, how long it's going to take, and what you should be prepared for, right? It's like, well, what does that do? That drops the risk down in your mind because the fear is now alleviated. You're like, I called Dan when I got an
Right.
eviction, right? And I'm not so scared. Like, what do I do? Or like, hey, I don't know contractors. Like, when you come to the meetup, guess who else is there? Contractors.
Oh, right. Okay.
I met a guy that was like doing flooring, and man, I got a most incredible deal on the floor that I just did in this house I
It's
bought in
wonderful.
Downingtown.
It's hard to find good contractors that will show up and,
Yeah.
do a good job. And
Well, one of the things that's great, like when people work with me, is because like I'm dealing with contractors on a regular basis. So they kind of have this like,
yeah, they're like, they have a loyalty to you because you're feeding them, right?
right, well, we're selling 100 houses a year. So there's
Right,
like tons of work. Hey, I need paint done here. I need this.
right.
And like one of my contractors, the other cool thing is like he's an immigrant guy, he's was a handyman. Then now all of a sudden he's got a crew of people, and now he's flipping his first house in Drexel
Oh,
Hill.
that's beautiful.
Should make about $100,000, and like we've guided him right through that process. On market deal, 275, I think, 5.25 to 550 out sale, like
It's
2,500 square
wonderful.
foot in Drexel Hill. So, um, and we're just actually getting ready to put that up on Drexel Ave, and we've helped a lot of people do that. But it's so fun to like now, like obviously that contractor is very engaged with me. Like we can
Sure.
trust each other. I went to
Yeah.
his kid's quinceanera,
Nice.
like
Yeah.
now what does that do? Well, that just drops a lot of the fear out of the equation, right? And then for my clients, like, oh yeah, you need this done. Alex is like relatively inexpensive. He can do the handyman work and get it done for you. I trust him. He's going to show up. He's going to do a decent job. If there's a problem, he's going to fix it, because I'll tell him like, hey, dude, there's a problem. You need to fix it.
Yeah. Right.
And I'll tell you things like don't give them all the money up front, and how to work it, right? So you know that's really what I'm trying to do, is just like help enable people to speed up the process, to drop the fear, to teach them about, well, how do you make money? You know,
Right.
is this a good deal? Right? There's all these houses sitting all around us. It's like, is it a good deal? How do we know? Right? And it's like I always think like it's so important, the deals I talk my clients out of doing
Okay.
more than the
More
ones I
than
talk them
doing
into doing.
because they're just not a good deal. It's
Right, because if they get
not
hurt
gonna
one
pan out.
time, that's it. They're done.
Right.
Right?
Right. Because sometimes they can't make up that loss, right?
They can't make up the
Cash.
loss, or the pain of the situation is just too much. And even sometimes when someone breaks even, or then they put in all the sweat, sweat and tears, and all that, like it's hard on them. And I'm always trying to say like, okay, like what happened? Well, they didn't listen to me on a couple things, and they did this wrong, and they over improved this, or they took too long, or they did everything themselves, or they didn't dorm out the roof like we said you needed
Hmm.
to, or whatever the things that happen. And then going back to my processes and going, okay, how can I get better at guiding people and making sure they're successful?
What's your future? What are you hoping to do? You're doing investing, you said,
Yeah,
and you got the real estate sales,
yeah,
that you have this group of people that you're running.
yeah. It's interesting. I am just I pray about that a lot, actually.
Okay.
you know,
You're not there yet,
I,
knowing. I
I,
mean, it's okay.
yeah, I mean,
Sometimes you
I'm
don't
just
know.
always trying to be guided, and because I did not think I'd be sitting here. You know, I've got this vision right now around like how do I make real estate investing more accessible to more people, because
I
we've
love
got
that.
this housing crisis, right?
Yes, you started talking about that earlier. Let's
I mean,
finish up with that. Yeah, that'd
yeah,
be a great story. Yeah.
we've got this housing crisis right now. So many people are complaining about the price of homes. They can't afford the house they want. They don't know what to do.
Right.
They're like, I can't have kids. I'm working two jobs. Like,
Interest rates are through the roof,
right?
which doesn't help.
How can housing make your life more affordable? Right?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, flip it,
A
flip
different
it.
way of thinking.
Right? Like
Right.
there's like that fate. That's like that perspective change. Like, well, prices are high. Great, because if you buy something low and fix it up, it's going to be worth a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's an amazing opportunity if you look at it from that perspective. So it's like, hey, if I can get a great deal on a house, and then that is going to, propel me forward, like that's an awesome, awesome opportunity. And there's so many of these, what I call like grandma houses, they're
Oh,
like in relatively good shape. They need cosmetic upgrades,
yeah. Kitchens, baths,
and
things like that.
it's like it's just an entry level way to get people, but it is easy to make $50,000 to $150,000 on a live and flip for somebody.
Okay.
It is not hard. That is sitting all over the place in plain sight. But the people don't have the education or the vision, right? So I know like we have this like accredited investor group that we're putting together, and I'm really getting more passionate about like a clear what I would call almost like a baby steps, like a Dave Ramsey baby steps, but for real estate investing. And
Hmm.
like, here's the clear steps that you need to take. Okay, you're going to do the live and flip. You're going to get the HELOC. This is a, you want to go to buy and hold. You're going to use the BRRRR strategy. Here's how you're going to do that. Here's how many, you might flip some in the middle. Like, you've got to like maintain a balance between cash flow and equity and debt and, all these things. But like, how do I clearly step people through? So I think like the next step in my process is like, I want to keep getting better at doing what I'm doing and helping people and trying this stuff out in the real world as I perfect a process that I think I can scale at a higher level to more people. Just like I think like Dave Ramsey did with the debt baby steps.
Oh, yeah.
He's helped like 10 million people get out of debt.
Sure, right.
Can I help 1 million people do a live and flip and start down the path to real estate investing? And like, it's just life changing stuff, because I mean, $50,000 to $150,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have $1,000.
Right.
You
That's
hear
right.
these statistics. It's upsetting.
Right.
And so I'm thinking like, how do I get together the top real estate investors in the area, have them help mentor, help me do this, and we all work together in bigger deals and different things like that too.
Sure.
But I can hear people screaming about the real estate investors, like, oh, they're doing this and that. But the actual people actually have an advantage over the real estate investors, but they just don't know it, because they're getting lower cost financing. They're going to live in the property. They can fix things up themselves while they learn. Their time horizon's better. Sell after 2 years, they can make, as a married couple, $500,000 tax free.
Wow.
Right? You had to make $1 million to get 500 in income, right? It'd take you half your lifetime. So there is such an opportunity here. And I know there's so many different people that I would say are pastors in this church of real estate investing. But the thing that I really want to get real about is implementation. I don't want to charge people for education, because education, truthfully, is free. It's out there.
True.
It's like, how do you execute? And real estate agents are frustrated because they're like, I don't know how to get this person to invest in real estate. I can't get them to where I know they need to go. They don't have the skills and the tools. So it's interesting to me, just like training my teammates, figuring out how they can help other investors, seeing them succeed. Like, one of my teammates just made like 250 grand on his own live and flip, and that's his second one he's done.
Wow.
He did one in Ardmore, made 150.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and then he flipped 3 other houses last year, and he's flipping another house right now. And it's like, and he met me like 2 years ago on this forum called Bigger Pockets.
Okay.
And that Big Jack guy, he's an amazing guy.
So you really are getting a lot of personal satisfaction out of helping these people.
I think from just my own experiences, failures, I was always a great student. I really wanted to like get educated, and I thought the path to financial success was being a great employee.
Yeah.
And oh man, I can do what I'm told so easily. But God, I took a personality test the other day, and it's like, you hate authority. You hate being told what to do. And I think that's why I had like some just pain and suffering as a younger person, because I was like, I have to just listen to my teacher, do what she tells to do, then I'll get my good grades, and I'll go to Cornell, then I'll get my engineering degree, then I'll have my good job, and then I'm going to have my wife and picket fence and my kids, and it's all going to be perfect. I just have to suffer through this, and I'm smart, and I can do it, and I did it, right? And then I got to it, and I was like, oh, that was false. Like, that was totally not true, and I like so much pain that I went through from that, and I'm just like, okay, like, can I help 10 people? Can I help 20 people? We had a guy attend the meetup. He's like, I just quit my job, and I'm like, dude, that's amazing. Like,
That is amazing.
Yeah. And he's investing, I think, a lot out near like Lancaster area.
Oh, okay.
Young guy. And I saw this other guy, Carl. He's talking at my next meetup. He buys trailer parks.
Oh, wow.
I think he made like 700 grand renovating one trailer park.
That's incredible.
In like 6 months or a year or something.
Wow.
Yeah, insane, right? He bought it for like 500. And it was like, I don't know, worth
a whole trailer park for 500?
Yeah, like I think it was in like Ohio, and it was like distressed. All the rents were way too low, and it needed all the units like cleared out and everything. And he went and did it all. He just like, basically, he was a cop. He's not a cop anymore.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he just did it, and it's like, I don't know. I'm rambling a little bit, but it's super amazing what's happening.
So what? And I'm going to put you on the spot here, I guess, a little. But what to end it, like, what would be the best advice that you would give to somebody that wants to get into real estate investing? Like, what is it besides joining your meetup, which is, what
Yeah,
did you
give me a
say?
call. Yeah.
It's every Wednesday. What did you say?
Second Wednesday every
Second
month.
Wednesday every month
Yeah, so we meet,
in
and
Philadelphia, and it's under VRA.
it's in Westchester, Pennsylvania. As you look up VRA Realty Meetup,
Hmm.
you can join that meetup group. It's free to attend. In fact, we give you beer and pizza to be
Right.
there.
There you go. Free
That's
beer and pizza. What more
Yeah,
could you want?
yeah,
You got
exactly.
nothing to lose. You
And
meet
you
some
don't,
friends.
people are always so scared to come. They're like, "Well, I don't have anything." All right, it's like it's fine. Like there was a guy who works for the cleaner down the hall from me, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in real estate," and he's like, started asking me questions. I was like, "Come to the meetup, just come." And he came, and he's like, "Oh my god, I like learned so much, and everybody's so nice, and like." It's a great group. It's not intimidating. Like everybody's been humbled by real estate.
Right. Yeah.
That's there because it is a humbling experience.
Sure.
So if you wanted to get started in real estate investing, I would say yes, a real estate investor meetup, if mine or others, are great to attend just to kind of get a feel. There's Bigger Pockets podcasts you can check out. There's tons and tons of education. There are other realtors like me who do understand real estate investing.
Hmm.
They're rare, but you can find them.
Yeah.
Get with somebody that does that, and maybe get a mentor or maybe a family member that's been doing it, and get them to help
Right.
you. I think that, again, the first step's a live and flip. I have a free live and flip course that I'm giving away on my website. You don't even have to put your contact
That's
information.
wonderful. What's the website?
The Rob Lawrence team.
The Rob R-O-B
I,
Lawrence
Actually,
team.
it's
Oh,
roblawrencesteam.com.
Rob
And then
Lawrence
if you
team.
go under invest, live and flip course, that's
Okay.
right there. It's also on my
Perfect.
YouTube channel.
I love
The Rob
that.
Lawrence team. Yeah, I'm
All
just
right. And it's
literally
Lawrence,
giving it away.
LAWRENCE.
LAWRENCE.
Yeah.
Yes.
.com. Just want to make sure, because Lawrence, I don't know if I
Yeah,
could have
I would
spelled
love
it
for
another
people to
way.
take
Yeah.
it. And, like I said, if you feel like I'm the right person to help you, guide you through that
Right.
journey, I'm there for you. But like I said, it's sitting right there in front of so many people that just don't know.
Right. And it's
Gotta get
such a
the word
great
out.
way to diversify your, I have some investments. It's a great way to diversify your investments. The stock market isn't, completely reliable. You have to have some money in there, but, you can diversify, right? And then always have something to rely on, because you can always sell a building, right?
Yeah,
And it's always gaining equity. I mean, most of the time, not always, but most of the time.
and you have control of the investment. Like
Right.
ExxonMobil doesn't seem to take my suggestions.
I
I
understand.
was like, you should drill over here. What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Rob. It was great having you.
Yeah.
Interesting subject, something I think a lot of people are interested in.
Yeah.
So, thank you. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me.